A mother's love is the shit that I'd only crave now. We're junkies on air, oh hell yeah.
Hey Junkies, I'm your host Kat.
I am your co-host Mandy.
And I don't know why I didn't think to plug my computer into a different TV and try to pull it up that way, but I did today. I am able to recover the files of part 2 and 3 of how we met, so we're just going to jump right into that shit. You guys have waited long enough. Pretty much the rest of 2018, Tony, my husband, he wasn't my husband at this point, but
Now husband.
he worked nights, so he would sleep all day and then have to go in. I think he had to be there at like 4 or 5, and then he wouldn't get home until about 4 or 5 in the morning. So all day, I pretty much hung out with Mandy, and we did our day-to-day lifestyle. So I got to kind of look inside and see how her day-to-day life was as a crack addict, and she got the passenger side, seeing how it was riding as a heroin addict. Really different.
Yeah,
it was very
polar opposite.
Exactly,
polar fucking opposite.
Exactly, but in the way, it was still kind of the same.
Yeah.
But not.
But yeah.
There was like a lot of different things that you had to do that I didn't have to do. And there's a lot of things that I had to do that you didn't have to do.
I remember the first time watching you in the car of McDonald's on 96 and Livernois shoot up. And she was like, and I was just asking her questions about it. She told me one time if it turns green, it had Fetty in it. And, like, if it turned a certain color, it was, like, what it was supposed to be or some shit like that. But I remember at one point you told me, you were like, but that's what I want. I want it to turn green, because you were like, I'm not addicted to the heroin anymore. I'm addicted to the Fet. Yeah. And I remember her driving. She shot up and we were
I remember you being like, are you good to drive? And I'm like, no, I'm straight.
Yeah.
And I always was, though.
I know. And I was like, can I please drive? Like, let me drive. Like, I'm doing an upper right now. You're doing a fucking downer. Because I remember one time, this is like years later, my friend, Jor, he did it in my car and I didn't know it. And I was engaged at this point to now my ex-fiance. And my ex-fiance kept turning around and looking, and I kept turning around and looking like, what are you looking at? He was like nodding out in my back seat, and I remember Dee Dee pulling over, helping me drag him out of the car to get him some water, because like I literally thought he was about to OD in the back seat of my car. Like, I didn't know what the fuck to do for him. But we just kept feeding him water to help him. I remember taking him back home to his mom's house. He was coherent enough at this point to go inside of his house. I he was perfectly fine the next day. We actually went to go hang out with him, to the point where I went to go hang out with him to tell him, I was like, dude, look, you can't do this shit. Like, I'm fucking sober at this point when I was engaged. And I was like, I can't have you be nodding out in my car, because if you fucking OD in my car, yes, at this point in time, I knew that I could take him to the hospital, drag him into the hospital, and tell the hospital that, look, this is what my friend is on. You need to save him. Give him Narcan. Give him something. I would have done it if he had not already came out of that first initial fading out. Because I had actually said to him in the car, when I was feeding him water, and I was like, if you don't come out of this, I'm dropping you off at the hospital right the fuck now. And I will explain to them what the fuck you were on. And then probably 5-6 minutes later, he came the fuck out of it. And he was like, can you just take me home? I was like, sure the fuck will. Sure the fuck will. That was actually one of the very last times that I seen him. Because I was like, I was already, I want to say like 4 or 5 months sober from my drug of choice, which was crack. I just did not want to be around that lifestyle. Like, I wanted to get away from people who were doing hard substances.
Because I was already pregnant at this point with Gianna.
Yes, exactly. And I actually had called you at that point in time, and I vaguely had talked to you about it. That was it. That was just like my last straw of being his friend. Like, I was like, I love you too much to watch you do this to yourself. Months later, did he go up north, and he finally got sober, and he's been sober since.
Oh, good.
I mean, as far as I know, he's sober, but I'm pretty sure that motherfucker's sober. Like, I don't foresee him still doing some shit like that, knowing everything that we know now.
That's the thing, though. Once I was deep into it, I never did it to get fucked up. I was only doing enough that I was good for like 6 hours. I wasn't having withdrawals. Yeah.
Because those withdrawals from H can fucking kill you.
And the fentanyl withdrawals, that is like 10 times worse.
That part,
like, straight heroin, like you could probably go about 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. You could probably work a shift. Okay. And then come home and do your drugs, right?
Okay.
That fentanyl shit, though, I was doing it like every 2 to 3 hours.
I remember like being in the car and like having to like stop over and pull over and have you like bang this shit real quick. I was so sketched out. I'm like, no,
it's fine. I've done it in this spot before. We're good. We're good.
Dude, do you remember that one time we were sitting in the parking lot? This dude rolled up on us and they were trying to get us to buy their shit. And that's when
homeboy
had walked up to us and got into our car and told us to pull the fuck away.
No.
Oh yeah, I remember that. We were sitting at McDonald's and we were waiting on
homeboy
because he said don't pull up to the house. There's some shit popping off at the house, don't pull up. So we waited for him to come up to McDonald's. He got in the car with us and we did some circles and shit. But that's when that black SUV had pulled up on us. And he had a girl in the car and so it was that guy and he was trying to get us to buy his shit. And we're like, oh no, it's okay. We're just waiting on our people. And that whole fucking time I was sketched the fuck out. I was like, first of all, I never went downtown to like get anything at this point in time in my life. Like
until you met me.
Yeah, I was going to Inkster. I was fucking with that Inkster shit. And
no, I was in the hood, baby.
Yeah, so like totally complete different ball game. Like I could have walked the street in fucking
like
Inkster.
Straight operations.
Yeah, like
they like
by myself, perfectly fine. You take me to Detroit, and there was a few times where I actually was homeless, and I would stay in these trap houses, and thank God I at this point, me and homeboy were so close. And I remember him leaving stacks of cash and like drugs out in front of me
for sure.
Just to test me. Like he never told me what he was doing. But he would leave me there for like maybe an hour and a half, came back, money still sitting on the table, drugs still sitting on the table. And I looked at him when he came in, I was like, and he like counted everything, was like touching everything. And he looked at me, he's like, you didn't take anything. He's like, the fuck? Like, he was so fucking surprised. I was I was like, yeah, I like my drugs, but I also
respect people.
Yeah, like, I also respect you enough not to fuck you over. Like, I actually genuinely did, like that motherfucker.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
To the point where, like, he still hits me up occasionally talking to me about, like, how's the baby? How are you doing? Are you still sober? Like, you better fucking be sober, bitch. Let me find out you still doing some shit. I contacted all my dealers, and I had bought each and a gram from each of my dealers, and I only had 3 dealers at the time that I trusted. And I bought a gram from each of them, and I told them when I bought that gram from them, I was like, if I contact you after this, talking to you that I need more, don't fucking answer me.
Yeah.
I actually seen one of my dealers probably like a year or so, maybe. No, it hadn't be a year ago. It had to be like 2 years ago. Before I went away to do the traveling shit, I had seen one, and I can't remember what his name is. He walked up to me. He's like, are you Mandy? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'm Mandy. Who are you? And he was just like, I'm so fucking blessed to see you are alive. Aww. He's like, so you, after I seen you that one day, and then he explained the situation, how I knew him, and he was just like, so you stayed sober.
Yeah.
He's like, on some real shit, you were the prettiest girl I fucking knew, walking these streets, hooking yourself, selling your body, escorting. He's like, I didn't want to see you dead. He's like, I didn't want to see you on the back of a milk carton one day, like, gone missing somewhere. And I was like, nope, I'm officially, I think a year and a half sober at this point. I was like, no, I'm doing good. I'm staying straight. And then he asked me, he's like, what you doing at this liquor store? And I was like, at this time I was dating this girl named T, and she did whippets at this point. Yeah.
I'll still beat your fucking ass if I ever catch you on the street. Sorry, Mom.
You a rat ass bitch. You will always be a rat ass bitch. It's okay though. So I picked her up and we were doing whippets. She was doing whippets. I was not doing whippets at this point because I had grown out of that phase of doing whippets.
Who the fuck does that?
A lot of
That's
people.
some 14-year-old shit.
Oh, hell fucking yeah. Trying shit for the first time. Yeah, no. And actually the funny story is I didn't try whippets until I was like 23, 24. What? Yeah, I got into it late in life. Like I never knew what whippets were.
The second that movie 13 came out, y'all know it was Ovi from there.
Yeah, I had actually never seen that movie until just recently. Yeah, like I sat down while I was pregnant with my daughter and I had watched that movie and I was like, yeah, no. I was like, no, absolutely fucking not. My daughter will never watch that movie. on God, she can watch that shit when she's 18 years old. You go watch it. Go watch it at your friend's house, and don't let me know you watch that shit. So at that point, like, we were just doing drugs together, and we were having a normal, sociable fucking get together. Kate took me on some of my jobs, and I told her, I was like, oh, well, if I make this much money and I get this much, then I'll give you this much for gas and just for you going with me.
Yeah.
And there was this really nice guy out in Ann Arbor that we met, and he was a super nice guy. He would just give me and her money just to sit there and talk to him. Like, we didn't have to do nothing. Like, he just wanted to talk to pretty girls. And that's literally it. And
I was dating Tony at this point. And Tony,
mind you, Tony was sitting in the car waiting for us at a couple of these points in time.
No, he went in one time.
Did he go inside with us?
Because Jay wanted to meet him, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. And I like, semi kind of remember that, because that's the night that I ended up getting that blanket from him because I was so cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, Tony was even with us. Like, it was just... we were just there to, like, talk and hang out. But he was a good guy.
I wish he would have kept his number.
No, I'm glad I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't.
I don't know. I feel like I want to be like, oh, hey, are you okay? Like, just checking in to make, not to see him, but like, are you good? Are you still alive? Because he was an older dude.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He was an older dude. He definitely was up there in his years. But
I feel bad just cutting him off like that.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he's used to it. I'm pretty sure he's.
I don't know.
Yeah. So then, at that point in time, like, I started doing shit to make my money, to get my drugs, and this was also at the point where I was seeing that guy who punched me in my face on my 25th birthday because I was about to do that line of Sleeper. That was basically our end of our journey of wanting to get sober. And then we ended up getting, like, honestly, we got sober together. Mm-hmm. Like, it was not shortly after that I had gotten sober that you had gotten sober. I remember we had a conversation.
Sober in, like, April, right?
No, March.
In March. I had found out I was pregnant, like, 2 weeks into April.
Okay.
But her doctor's request, they told me to continue doing heroin because it's dangerous to just cut it cold turkey.
Especially because you weren't just on heroin, you were on fentanyl. Yeah, exactly.
So I couldn't get into the methadone clinic until May 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So they told me to just keep using, and they monitored, and I went in for ultrasound.
Yeah, because I remember having that conversation with you, because I was like, prior to that situation, it was Jor, Kate, and me, and I was going to go to a job, and the guy was super sketchy.
Yeah,
and he wanted me to go in a trench coat and, like, go into this building, but I was, like, super sketched out. Like, I literally thought the feds were there. That's why I didn't want to go in. I was like, I think the feds
was that when I was supposed to go in with you?
Yes.
Yes. Something. Ew, I'm getting chills thinking about it. Something told me not to go in.
Because there was nobody in there.
No,
nobody was fucking there. So what? I walked up to the door, and then the feds got me. And we were in Jackson? We were far as fuck away. Yeah.
With no fucking gas.
Exactly. And you and Jay got so fucking mad because they were withdrawing at this point in time.
Yeah.
And that I hadn't gone in there. But I was like,
you did go in, but you were in for 2 seconds and you noped the fuck out and you came out.
Yeah, because there was nobody in there. Like, there was nobody in there. Like, I remember going in there, and there was, like, it was pitch black dark.
Yeah.
Nobody was in there. And then, like, he kept telling me to go walk in this area, go walk in that area. And I was like, this is sketchy. And I ran back out.
Yeah.
I was like, I was not about to get caught up in some shit like that. So I ended up leaving.
No, and something told me if I went in with you, something would have happened.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I had to stay in the car.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the day that...
Because I bet you they knew... Like, if we both, because you said I was coming.
Yeah.
But since you only went by yourself, they knew someone else was in the car, so they couldn't do nothing.
We ended up leaving, and Jay and Kate was, like, withdrawing at this point, and, like, I was fiending. Like, I was fiending hardcore, but I was like, this isn't just safe. Well, it was so bad when we were driving home that I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember us screaming at each other, and then, like, telling me to get the fuck out of the car, and I was like, you're not leaving me all the way out here, and I can't get the fuck.
Like, raging withdrawing
it was really bad at that point, and I remember that, and
I would have never left you. I would have made you get out and turn around back around. I would have been like, stupid bitch, I love her, like, I can't do this to somebody.
Exactly.
You know?
But I was like, I was so scared that I was like, I would rather you beat my ass in your fucking car and have you drag me out by my hair than get out of the car willingly.
I would have never drove out.
Yeah, I wasn't fucking risking it. I wasn't risking it.
Yeah.
And I
I don't care how much. Like, even if it was someone I didn't like, I would have beat your ass, kept you in my car, and then took you home. You know what I mean?
Like, cool. At least I got home.
I
At least I got
that.
home.
I could never do that to somebody. I've never made someone get out of my car like that.
But I mean, we were all really fucked up, and we were all just feeding really hard for our substance. So it was like, now looking back at it, it's just like, and we actually had a conversation later, and we had talked about wanting to get sober, and she was like, but I just don't want to get sober by myself. And I was just like, well, I think I'm at that point in time in my life where I wanted to get sober.
We were both sick of that lifestyle. Like, we're like, what else?
We needed to change.
We needed to change,
And I remember for my birthday, I was Kate's birthday, because her birthday's the day before my birthday, and we were fucked up on my birthday, or on our birthday, and...
Is that when Nick was in town and you met Nick?
I met Nick for the first time.
And he
Jay
met
was
John.
there.
Jay was there. He was like, why is he after the party, he was like, why was Jay keep touching my knee? I was like, he was just high and crack. Do you don't remember that?
Oh, John, Jay, Jay was touching,
Nick's knee.
But Jay's a little fruit, so he was trying to get a little something.
But Nick's not,
yeah,
so
exactly.
he was like, why is this motherfucker touching my knee?
Yep, exactly. And I was actually at my house with Slug, waiting for Kate and Tony and John to show up, and Nick to show up, and Nick pulled up in his car, Kate and Tony and John showed up in his car, and we were at my grandma's house, and we were all just getting fucked up there.
I think I smoked crack with you that night.
Yeah, that was that night that you had smoked crack with me. And then, like, that morning after, when I had tried to OD, and it wasn't successful.
You know, hold on, side note, I give Nick so much props that night because he used to smoke meth.
Yeah. Well,
and
meth?
he did.
Was it meth? I thought it was crack.
No, he used to smoke meth,
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
But, yeah.
I didn't know
And
that.
he used to drink a lot. He used to be like an
I thought he
alcoholic.
was crackhead.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What else is there out to do in Minnesota?
So we're all hanging out for our birthdays and shit. And do you still have those pictures where we recreated?
I do.
Okay, we gotta throw those up too.
Mm-hmm.
And then that morning after, and I was like, I needed change, and I needed to get sober. So I got away from the abusive dude that I was with. I called Kate, and I was just like, I'm done. I was like, I'm going to buy grams from each of my dealers, and I bought 3 grams from each of my dealers, and I ended up, at one point, I contacted you and Tony, and I had you and Tony come get the rest of the stuff that I had.
Yeah, we smoked it.
Because I was like, I'm done. Like, I smoked what I wanted to. I got what I needed out of it. And I was like, I was just done. And I called you guys, and I told you guys come get this shit from me, and you guys came and got it from me. And that was the end of that story. That was the end of the journey of, me on my binges. Yeah,
I remember smoking crack though, and Tony was like, why are you so chill? And I was like, I've been diagnosed with ADD since I was like fucking 10. What do you mean? Like, uppers don't, unless I do a shit ton, they won't affect me. And then like an hour later I can do dope. Like it won't affect me like that. I don't know, it's so weird. Because like usually what, like your average stereotypical crackhead, that was like, not me. I was the thing is that on my phone, just like bullshit.
Good crack and real crack is gonna make you super jittery, super calm, super relaxed, but like also like that, it's good crack's not gonna make you tweak. The bad crack is what makes you tweak and you fiend for more. And I knew people who I had good and could get that good crack where I wasn't gonna tweak afterwards. After you guys had left and everything and I was done, I had gone to take a shower, and I like just sat there in the shower for a good like 45 minutes. Just chilling, just relaxing. And I was just like, all right, I was done. That was it for me.
Just had that realization.
And I was done with it. I was like, I was good. Nope. No. Still to this day, like, fucking people from my past will hit me up. Like, this one dude who knew this girl named, Air. He was doing it, and he knew this girl. He was dating this girl who OD'd. And rest peace her. I don't remember her name, though. But she died. Air started talking to him because she was trying to get information out of him. He hit me up probably literally maybe like a year ago. He hit me up like when I was pregnant. He had asked me, he's like, do you know where I can get any? And I instantly was like, block. Like I was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about, block. And then never spoke to him again. Like anybody that hits me up for any type of drugs. Like, there's a dude that hit me up. He hit me up for K-pins. Never in my life have I ever done K-pins, like, ever. I was more of a Xanax kind of person.
Yeah, it's a different high.
Yeah, I believe it, because I remember my one friend, she took a few, like, maybe 3 or 4 K-pins, and she passed out for, like, 3-4 days.
What?
Like, bitch was zombified. Like, she was zombified. I remember her telling me stories about how she would just wake up to go pee and then go back to sleep and sleep for another 4 or 5 days.
Oh my God.
Like, it was, and she would just wake up to go pee. Like, I was like, that's not a type of high I want to experience.
No.
I was like, I'm straight on that.
I didn't even do that on fentanyl. What the fuck?
Yeah, that shit was fucking, it was whack as fuck. As soon as he hit me up, I messaged his girlfriend and I was like, yo, your boyfriend's hitting me up for if I can get him K-pins. And I was like, I don't even know what these things are, but I was like, I blocked him just to let you know, because he's a recovering meth head anyways. I don't even talk to him anymore. Like, anybody that hits me up for drugs or asking me if I know people, no.
Yeah.
I am almost 5 years sober. I don't know anybody that fucking does drugs anymore. Like, I can barely find weed and people with good weed. Like, I ain't gonna go to the dispensary and get fucking dispensary grade weed. That shit makes me tweak the fuck out. Literally, that is the reason why I quit smoking weed, because dispensary weed makes me tweak out. Like, I've done some hardcore fucking drugs. I don't know what the fuck they're putting in that shit to make it fucking grow. Whatever the fuck it is.
No, for real. Because
like,
I smoked that shit with Tony when I was in Chicago, okay?
Yeah.
And I literally felt like I was 17.
Dude,
like, I was laughing so fucking hard.
Like,
I made a sploof and smoked it in the fucking bathroom in our hotel room.
I
even fucking took the batteries out of the smoke alarm because it made me paranoid. Like, I was like, I'm never smoking again.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I just don't fuck with medical grade weed. And it's like, I have one person, I still fuck with him to this day, but I don't really talk, I don't really go to him anymore. Like, friends that hear this, or ex-friends that used to hear this, if you go to him, because I know I've took you to him before, and you still get through him, he'll tell you, no, I haven't seen her. Like, she comes by maybe once in a blue moon. Like, I do not see her anymore, like, at all. Like, he doesn't know anything about anything. Like, I've recently took him to go get my dad to get some stuff from him before. And every time I see him, always gives me a big ass hug, tells me, how are you doing? I don't see you anymore. Did you find out about the new gossip? Because every time we go in there, he always wants a gossip. I fucking love it. He always got the tea. He always has the tea. And half the time, I don't even want to know what the tea is, because the tea is about my ex-fiance, and I don't want to know. Like, stop talking to me about it. But sometimes it's funny to know. But like, this one time, my ex-fiance's friend Ryan passed away. I had recently gone to see him. He told me what had happened. He was like, have you heard from your ex-fiance? And I was like, no, why? What's going on? He's like, Ryan, took his life. So I know my ex-fiance was feeling that shit hard as fuck. Like, that was his boy. Like, he has brothers and what's not, but that was his brother. Like, that was his, like, soulmate brother type shit. From, like, he even said one day when my ex-fiance brought me over, he's like, you gotta keep this one. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Any of the bitches you bring, you have now, this is the one right here. And it was crazy because when we started hanging out, when we started dating, he actually told me, he's like, I think I've known you my whole life. Like, I think that you are my soulmate. Like, we just keep meeting each other type shit. I was like, bitch, you just tripping. Like, you just trying to tell me some shit to get in my pants real quick. Like, that's not real. Like, you just trying to make me fall in love type shit.
I don't know. Honestly, out of everybody, though, me and Tony didn't mind him.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like, we let him in our home.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? We liked him enough to let him in our home with our child there.
Yeah. No,
like
100%, but definitely after we had like split and whatever, before we even split, like I started feeling that, like I started feeling like I've known him in past lives. I was just like kind of just blowing it off, because I was also not even a year sober. Like I was a few months sober when I got engaged to him. So it's just like I didn't know myself without drugs. So I didn't know if it was just the come down of always being on drugs my whole life. And then like getting codependency issues. Like I thought I was just creating a codependency problem with him, and like put him as my savior type shit, and I didn't want that for that type of relationship. Like if I wanted things to work out with me and him, I definitely did want it to be natural between us. I really wish that we would have waited until at least 5 years after my sobriety to start dating, because like I feel like if I was already 5 years sober, I felt like I would already know myself. Like, being almost 5 years sober now, talking about it, I really think that I'm more in a different headspace now. Like, I don't need, like, I'm different. Like, I'm a completely different person than I was 5 years ago. Even 4 years ago. Like, I didn't know who the fuck I was. Like, I only knew myself on drugs.
I know who I was, but, like, that bitch was so far gone. Yeah. That wasn't even Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't have a name for her because I don't know who that even was.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, when you do drugs like that, you definitely lose yourself.
Like, Aaron is coming to my mind. I don't even know an Aaron, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
But, exactly. I don't know an Aaron. So that's who that was. That bitch was Aaron. Mm-hmm. Chelsea comes out when she's drunk.
Mm-hmm. But the Aaron was your drug life. Shit. Yeah, and it was just like, I didn't...
Aaron with an E, though.
There was always Mandy with a Y, Mandy with an I, then there was Panda, then there was fucking Maddie, like, bitch, I had all types of names for all different
Catherine,
personas.
First I had Katie Lou, Catherine, Katie
Sprinkles,
KK Sprinkles, KK Sparkles.
What was it? His was Squishy. I can't remember.
And Bambi. I got called Bambi.
I remember that. Yep. I remember that.
And now it's just Cat because, like, I'm a whole new bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm just fucking Amanda just because, like, it is what it is. I am definitely not back to my child era, but I'm definitely back to what I feel like is who I'm supposed to be. Like, I am in this journey, in my spiritual journey, in my recovery, or sobriety, whatever the fuck you want to say. I'm doing the shits. I'm doing what I'm supposed to. I have my own place. I have things for myself now, which if I was still on drugs, I wouldn't have any of that. No. I wouldn't even have a daughter right now if I was still on drugs. Fuck no. Like, that shit would have not have fucking happened at all. I'm very, very blessed that I got to experience my drug life and my party life before I had my daughter. I would not change having my daughter for the world because she came at the right fucking time in my life.
Yeah, you had to take my wedding date.
Hey, I didn't take no wedding date. This bitch told me that like a year before
you even found out you were pregnant.
Yeah, I was still on the road. I was doing Lost Lands and fucking E-Forest and building all these stages for these festivals and everything. This bitch calls me one day and she was just like, and I was at a motel doing a gig. I think it was like 4th of July or some shit. She's like, I don't know what's going on, but I have a strong feeling that February 23rd of 2014, there's something that's gonna special that's gonna fucking happen. And this dumb bitch insisted it was her fucking wedding day. Insisted it was her wedding day. I was like, bitch, I don't think you should do that as your wedding day. She's like, nah, bitch, that's my wedding day. That's my wedding day. I'm not changing that day. I was like, bitch, you won't even change your date.
We were gonna go for October.
You guys were gonna originally do October or September or
November
something. Like, something. Winter. Yeah. Then this bitch switched up and was like, I had a dream and I have a strong feeling that February is gonna be something special.
Not just February. I had it down to the day.
Yeah, she had a
February 23rd, 2024.
Yep, she sure fucking did. And I was like, that's fucking weird, but all right, let's see how this shit goes. And it's crazy because after she said some shit like that, Bree had even said some crazy shit about February 23rd. Yeah. And I was just blowing that shit off. My grandma passed away on December of 2022. I left for a whole year, came back during the winter after Lost Lands of 2023.
No, you didn't do Lost Lands because you found out you were pregnant.
I was in September.
I had just had Bubby.
The year that I decided that I was going to move to Texas. I want to say 2 weeks before Grandma was about to die, I got a phone call saying, I need you to get your ass home now. Like, I need you to get fucking home. And I was like, well, I won't get paid for another week. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, you guys got to give me, like, at least a week to get home. And I was able to get a ticket on December 6th or December 7th. I had gotten home on the 7th because it was, like, a 24-hour flight because I had a bunch of layovers. When I finally had gotten home, it was, like, 8, 9 o'clock. On the 7th of December, I got picked up from my friend N and her boyfriend. They came and got me from the airport, drove me to Taylor where my grandma was staying. I sat there and it was crazy because I was sitting there and I was like helping her and everything, like keeping her mouth warm, moist and shit, because she like had her mouth just fucking hanging over.
My left ear is ringing. What does that mean?
It means that somebody from the dead is talking. My grandma ended up passing that morning, so she was able to she basically was waiting for me to get home to basically be able to move on.
Yeah.
And like that morning at like 5 something in the morning, I ended up getting jolted awake. And it's crazy because the nurses kept walking past and turning the light on.
Yeah.
And I was sound asleep holding my grandma's hand. She came in like the second or third time and turned on the light. And I, at this point, when she turned the light on, I was sleeping at this point, and I had jolted myself awake. I literally jumped out of this chair awake type shit.
Yeah. And
the nurse looked at me. She's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, I don't know what just happened, but I literally just twitched myself awake. Like my body woke me up.
Yeah.
And she looked at my grandma and looked at me, and she's like, "You need to say your goodbyes." And I fucking, at this whole entire fucking point, I kept my composure. I was able to not cry and not lose my absolutely fucking mind. And on some real shit, I'm fucking really surprised that I did not go smoke crack.
I was just gonna say,
like, I really, like, I did not, I was like, I can't, like, to this day, I'm still mind boggled. Because I was just like, why didn't I go smoke crack? Like, I smoke crack every other fucking time that I needed a fucking depressing moment.
I know.
And then this one fucking time, I lose my fucking grandmother. And I don't fucking, I didn't smoke crack. Yeah. I didn't do any type of drugs. My ex-boyfriend came and picked me up probably a couple days later from my friend's house. And we went to go drink at this hotel. And he was fucking piss-faced drunk, dude. Piss-faced drunk, throwing up in the toilet. The hotel, like, fucking where you put your clothes in, the dresser, the top dresser had pulled up, like, opened while I was on my phone, and I'm like, that's fucking weird. So I closed it, and I walked into the bathroom, I was like, did you just walk by me, and I didn't even fucking notice? He's like, no. And I was like, oh, okay, so definitely not you. And then I turned the corner, and the dresser door's open. That's fucking weird. Yeah. But I told my grandma when she died, like, come to me.
Fuck with you.
Like, come to me in the astral world. Yeah. Come to me and let me know that there's something more than just life itself. Yeah. I closed it again, and I was like, I was in tears at this point. Yeah. I was like, Grandma, stop fucking with me. Please stop fucking with me. I was like, I'm like, and I'm fucking bawling my eyes out. But then I was like, you know, if this is you, Grandma, open the drawer one more time. And I turned my back for a split second, and I turned around, and it was fucking open. I dropped to my fucking knees, dude. I dropped to my knees, bawled my fucking eyes out. I left, went to call at my friend A, and I was literally in tears on the fucking phone. And when I came back in the room with her on the fucking phone, I was like, dude, the fucking drawer's open. I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified.
Dude, that happened to me when my fucking grandpa died. This was shortly, I don't know if this is when we kind of weren't talking again or we just started talking, in 2013 when my grandpa died. Because I know you came over to Grandpa's a couple times.
Yeah, I did.
But I think he had just died.
Yeah, because I didn't meet Papa. I only met Grandma. Yeah. Because we were in fucking...
She was out in fucking South Lyon.
Yeah, because we had to go pick up Emily...
And Shane.
Emily and Shane.
In the trailer ride.
Yeah, and we had to go get Sass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep. So, he never liked us fucking snooping around and shit, okay? So, after he died, me and Frankie were snooping in his bedroom closet, just going through. I mean, Grandma didn't care. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? She was like, whatever, do what you guys gotta do. And we're kind of going through stuff. And then I turned to Frankie, and Frankie's my brother, and I was like, Grandpa would be so pissed if he knew we were snooping right now. And then, me and him looked at each other, and we fucking laughed. Frankie left the room to use the bathroom. Mm-hmm. They had, a master bedroom with a bathroom, but he went to use the other one. I literally was sitting there shuffling through papers by myself. All I heard was fucking, literally, bitch, I'm standing there by myself, and I hear and I literally stood where I was standing right by the bed, and I, got the chills, and I could not fucking move. And, like, I fucking was, like, that was, like, the first time, like, the first real time that I have knowledge of something, like, paranormal happening. Bitch, I got chills right now.
I get chills, too. Ever since I started talking about my girl
I know! And I literally, like, hesitated to, like, look around. And I was, like, looking around, and I booked it out of that fucking room. I, like, booked it through the living room, booked it through the kitchen.
That was your grandpa telling you to stop going
in my
shit.
He was like, stop snooping through my fucking shit, bitch.
You going
I fucking ran straight through that shit into the fucking family room, and I was like, Grandma! I was like, God! Like, something just knocked on the door! And I fucking explained everything that happened, and then my brother's like, what the fuck are you crying for? You know what I mean? And Grandma was like, oh, it's just Grandpa. I'm like, bitch, I'm in tears right now. How you just casually saying, oh, it's just Grandpa? And then after that, another time, I don't know, I think Mom was in the bathroom, like the guest bathroom, whatever. And there was 2 shelves on the shelf that had not moved in fucking 20 plus years. And then one fucking fell on her. And she was like, what the fuck?
So, actually, funniest story. So, when I was living over at Grandma Linda's house, and
so good.
I was talking to her about wanting to know the gender of my baby, because at this point in time, I didn't know the gender of my baby. You were just about to come over and do the gender reveal. One of her pictures in her kitchen dropped from the wall on the floor, and it was a quote about a mother and a daughter. And I shit you not, to this day, I believe that it was my grandmother coming to me, telling me I'm having a girl. Because that fucking weekend we had the gender party, sure as fuck it was a girl. And I swear to God, it was my grandma knocking that shit off. Because I even walked into the room to Linda, and I was just like, what
the fuck?
This just fell. And she's like, that's never fallen before. So, like, that was, like, crazy as fuck. And I was like, I looked at it, I was like, that's my grandma. That was definitely my grandma.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So on that note, we're going to stop right there. Until next time.
Bye, Junkies!
We went from running the streets to washing these sheets for these damn kids. Oh yeah. From snorting to smoking to banging to D, all of the above. Yeah, she had me crazy in love, but we cleaned that shit up. Oh yeah. A mother's love is the shit that I'd only crave now. We're junkies on arrow, hell yeah.